Once upon a time, in a village in Germany, there lived Hansel and Gretel, who were the children of the poor woodcutter. When a great famine swept up the land, the woodcutter's wife decided to take the children into the forest and left them there to look after themselves, so that she and her husband did not starve to death. This was because she thought the children were eating too much. The woodcutter opposed the plan, but eventually and reluctantly submitted to his wife's suggestion. They don't realize that in the children's bedroom, Hansel and Gretel have heard it. After the old man goes to sleep, Hansel sneaks out of the house and collects out as much white gravel as he can. Then goes back to his room, confiding Gretel that God once lived. The next day, their family walked far into the forest and Hansel placed a white gravel trail. After their parents left them, Hansel and Gretel followed the track back at home. When the wife saw them, she was so angry and locked them inside the house. Hansel and Gretel couldn't go out even just to collect gravel. The next morning, the family returned to the forest. Hansel picked up a piece of bread and left them breadcrumbs, so that they could follow the return home. However, after they were once again left out, they found that the birds had eaten those crumbs and they got lost in the forest. After days of wandering, they followed a beautiful white bird to open a place in the forest and found a big carrot built from ginger cake, biscuit, candy, and with window glasses of clear sugar. Hungry and tired, the children began to eat the roof of a house. When the door opened, a very old woman showed up. The old woman should ask them to stay in the house with the promise of providing soft beds, delicious food, and hot beds. Hansel and Gretel agree without realizing that the old woman of their homes is actually a poultier and likes to cook and eat children. The next morning, the witch cleaned the garden chicks from her previous prisoners. Then he took Hansel into the cage and forced Gretel to be his slave. The witch feeds Hansel to feed him up. Hansel was smart, and when the witch asked him to stitch out his finger so he could see how fat he was, he stitched up the bone he found in the cage all the time. The witch grew impatient and decided to eat Hansel. The next day, the witch prepared to oven for Hansel, but because he was so angry, he decided to eat Gretel too. He persuaded Gretel to open the oven and asked her to bow in front of the oven to see if the fire was hot enough. Gretel sensed the witch's evil intention and the fashions not to understand what the witch meant. Angry, the witch is showing Gretel what Gretel should do. And that was when Gretel immediately pushed the evil woman into the oven, slammed and closed the door, leaving the faceless creature to be burned to ashes, and screamed in agony until they died. Gretel quickly freed Hansel from the cage, and they both found bags full of treasure and precious stones. They then placed them in their clothes. Then Hansel and Gretel looking for a way home. Upon returning home, they found only their father, who disclosed that their mother has died of a nucleus. Their father spends all his days mourning the loss of his children and is happy to see them safe and sound. With the witch willed, they all live happily ever after.